Well, students, after the definition of a group and the properties on a group, to move towards the semi-group. What do you mean by the semi-group and what is the definition of a semi-group? An ordered pair G comma star. An ordered pair G comma star. What is G? G is an non-empty set and star is a binary operation on G. Suppose it is said to be a semi-group if it satisfies the two laws of a group. One is the closure law and another one is the associative law. What does the closure law says? That for every AB belongs to G implies A star B belongs to G. Associative law, for every ABC belongs to G implies A star of B star C is equal to A star B of star C. That means first two laws of a group, if the ordered pair G star satisfies, means that is called a semi-group. Next, take an example on a semi-group. The set of natural number I will consider. The set of natural number n form a semi-group under multiplication. To show that the set of the natural number n1 equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n and so on to be with the set of natural number, it form a semi-group under multiplication. Is the closure law satisfies in the natural number with respect to multiplication? Verify. For every AB belongs to n, A star B means in this case star is a multiplication, A into B. It is also belongs to n because any two natural numbers are multiplying, the result is also the natural number. For example, 2 and 3 are the natural numbers. The A star B, A into B is a 2 into 3, 6 is also natural number. Therefore, the closure law is satisfied with respect to multiplication in the natural number. Is the associative law satisfies in the natural number with respect to multiplication? For every ABC belongs to n, A star of B star C equal to A star B of star C. Consider the three numbers, 2, 3, 5 are the natural numbers. 2 into 3 into 5 is same as a 2 into 3 into 5. That means the change in the bracket on both the side with the three numbers is called as the associative law. Immediately the LHS, what happens, bracket multiplication is 15 and it is into 2, 30, and here it is a 2 into 3, 6, 6 into 5 is a 30, both the sides are equal. Therefore, immediately associative law is also satisfied with respect to the multiplication. Therefore, n with multiplication is a semi-group. The example what it is, the set of natural number is a semi-group under multiplication. Next to go towards the definition of a subgroup. The group means it satisfies the four conditions: closure law, associative law, identity law and inverse law. Now to say what is the subgroup. A non-empty subset H of a group G, that means G is already a group and H is a subset of G. A non-empty subset H of a group G is said to be a subgroup of G if it satisfies or if H itself is a group under the same binary operation of G. Suppose G is a group with respect to star or multiplication, addition and somewhat, that H is also the group of the same operation of G, then H is immediately called as a subgroup of G. A non-empty subset H of a group G is said to be a subgroup of G if H itself is a group under the same operation of G. So once again we can define the subgroup in another manner. A non-empty subset H of a group G star is called a subgroup of G star if H star is a group. That means H is a subset of G and G is a group under operation star. Immediately H is also group under star. Then H is called as the subgroup of G. In other words, these are the third and fourth definition are the theorems actually. We have to define the subgroup also in this manner. A non-empty subset H of a group G is a subgroup of G. A non-empty subset H of a group G is a subgroup of G if for every A comma B are the elements of H implies A into B inverse belongs to H. For every AB belongs to H implies A into B inverse belongs to H. Here you can denote the into or star and another defined thing. A star B inverse belongs to H means also right. Next the another definition. A non-empty subset H of a group G is a subgroup of G if for every AB belongs to H, the first condition for every A belongs to H implies A inverse belongs to H. For every AB belongs to H implies A into B belongs to H. For every A belongs to H implies A inverse belongs to H, and for every AB belongs to H implies A into B belongs to H. If these two conditions are H satisfies and H is a subset of G, then H is called as the subgroup of G. Take one example on the subgroup. The example, a set of square roots of unity is a subgroup of fourth roots of unity under multiplication. A set of square roots of unity is a subgroup of group of fourth roots of unity under multiplication. What it is? There is the fourth root of unity 1 minus 1 I and minus I. These are the fourth roots of unity. It is a group under multiplication. Already given it is. Let G equal to 1 minus 1 I and minus Y be the group of fourth roots of unity under multiplication. Then what is H? H is the square root of unity. The square roots of unity are 1 and minus 1. Let H is the 1 and minus 1 be the square root of unity. Clearly, no doubt that H is a subset of G. Now, H is a subset of G. H is also group because with the help of 1 and minus 1, closure law satisfies with multiplication. Associative law with repeat any one number, either 1 or minus 1, and consider the three numbers 1, 1, minus 1. Check the associative law, that also satisfies. The identity element is a 1, therefore identity law satisfied. Then inverse element is a 1 itself, inverse is a 1, minus 1 its inverse is a minus 1. So H is a group under multiplication and H is a subset of G, therefore H under multiplication is a group, or H cross is a group. Therefore H is a subgroup of G. Clearly G is a group, H is subset of G, and H is a group, therefore H is a subgroup of G. Now to move towards the very important theorems on a subgroup. Already I said that the definition 3 and 4, the definition 3 and 4, those are in the form of a definition, and even though those are a theorems. Theorems on subgroup. The first theorem is a non-empty subset H of a group G is a subgroup of G. A non-empty subset H of a group G is a subgroup of G if and only if for every A belongs to H implies A inverse belongs to H, and for every AB belongs to H implies A into B belongs to H. So to show that, two parts here. First to consider H is a subgroup of G, and from that these two conditions are satisfied. Next, in the converse part, if two conditions are satisfied, immediately H is subgroup of G. Okay, if part. What it is the given part in H? If part, let H is a subgroup of G. Our idea is to prove that the conditions 1 and 2 are satisfied. So H is a subgroup of G. H is a subgroup of G means immediately H is a group by definition. If H is a group means it satisfies all the laws of a group. By inverse law, if A belongs to H, immediately A inverse also belongs to H. Therefore, the condition 1 is satisfied. What is the closure law? Says that closure law, by considering two elements in H, their multiplication also is in H. For every AB belongs to H implies A into B also belongs to H. The condition 2 also satisfied. Therefore, what we proved in the if part, H is a subgroup of G implies 1 and 2 are proved. Only if part means to consider 1 and 2 are given. That means for every A belongs to H, A inverse belongs to H is given. For every AB belongs to H, A into B belongs to H is given. What is our prove that part? H is a subgroup of G. For that, to prove H is a first group. H is subset of G, H is a group, then immediately H is a subgroup of G. With the help of the given 1 and 2, to prove that H is a group. The 2 says that, this expression 2 says that, or the 2 says that closure law, that is nothing but the closure law. Therefore, closure law has satisfied in H. The 1 says that inverse element exists. If inverse element exists means inverse law satisfies. From 2, closure law satisfies. From 1, inverse law satisfies. Now, the remaining is the existence of identity and the inverse element. Now, consider the A and A inverse belongs to H and apply the 2. Apply the 2 means if AB belongs to H implies A into B belongs to H. If A and A inverse belongs to H means A into A inverse also belongs to H. But A into A inverse nothing but the E. Therefore, identity law satisfies. In G, already the associative law satisfies. In G, A star of B star C equal to A star B of star C, associative law satisfies. But H is a subset of G. Therefore, this associative law satisfies in H also. That is A star of B star C equal to A star B of star C in H, associative law satisfies. Now, H satisfies all the condition of a group. Therefore, H is a group. H is a group. H is subset of G. Hence, it is a subgroup of G. So, this is the proof of the theorem. So carefully observe the theorem. Once again you can, what is this one? H is a subgroup of G, the two conditions are satisfied. It is called the if part. Only if part means the two conditions are satisfied, then H is a subgroup of G. Similarly, to move towards the one more theorem, that is a non-empty subset H of a group G is a subgroup of G. A non-empty subset H of a group G is a subgroup of G if and only if for every A into B belongs to H implies A into B inverse belongs to H. Here it is also the two cases. One is the if part, another one is the only if part. If part means H is a subgroup of G is given to prove the AB inverse belongs to H. Only if part means AB inverse belongs to H is given to prove H is a subgroup of G. If part, let H is a subgroup of G. This implies H is a group. By inverse law, if B belongs to H, immediately B inverse also belongs to H. Now by closure law, A and B belongs to H means either A into B belongs to H or A into B inverse belongs to H. So it is the proof that AB inverse belongs to H. Therefore, H is a subgroup of G implies AB inverse belongs to H for every AB belongs to H. Next, to move towards the only if part. What does the only if part says? For every AB belongs to H, A into B inverse belongs to H is given. Call this as a 1. Our idea is to prove that H is a subgroup of G. For that, to prove that H itself is a group. First to consider, to prove H is a subgroup of G. For that, to prove H is a group, the condition what it is 1 is given. From that, very clear that closure law is satisfied. The first law of group is satisfied. In the A into B inverse belongs to H, to take B equal to A. If B equal to A, what happens? A into A inverse belongs to H. What do you mean by A into A inverse? E. E belongs to H. If E belongs to H means the identity element exists. Therefore, identity law has been satisfied. Next, the again given, consider A into B inverse belongs to H. In this, we can put A equal to E because group means identity elements exist, already been shown. Put A equal to E and B equal to A. A equal to E and B equal to A. That means E into A inverse belongs to H. That is A equal to E and B equal to A. Then E into A inverse belongs to H. E into A inverse is nothing but the A inverse. That means inverse element exists. Therefore, inverse law has been satisfied. And associative law, whatever you shown in the previous theorem, the same step has been followed. We have A star of B star C equal to A star B of star C in G. But H is subset of G. This associative law is also in H. Therefore, associative law satisfies. Now, H satisfies all the 4 conditions of a group. Therefore, H is a group. Hence, H is a subgroup of G. So, these are very important theorems on the subgroup. The first one is as by means of a definition, H is a subgroup of G implies A belongs to H inverse and A inverse belongs to H, and AB belongs to H implies A into B belongs to H. Second theorem is the non-empty subset H of a group G is a subgroup of G, means A into B inverse, AB belongs to H implies A into B inverse belongs to H. Out of these two theorems, one compulsory in the almost all at the examination. Next, to go for the another theorem in the subgroup, prove that the intersection of two subgroups is again a subgroup. Prove that intersection of two subgroups is again a subgroup, and an example to show that union of subgroup need not be a subgroup. Union of two subgroups need not be a subgroup. First, to consider the proof, let G is a group, H and K be the subgroups of G. To prove that H intersection K is also subgroup of G. First, to consider H is a subgroup of G. By definition, or the third definition of the subgroup I given, H is a subgroup of G. Therefore, for every AB belongs to H implies A into B inverse belongs to H. K is a subgroup of G. For every AB belongs to K implies AB inverse belongs to K. From 1 and 2, where AB belongs to H as well as AB belongs to K. Therefore, AB belongs to H intersection K. These are by the definition of a subgroup. A and B belongs to H, A and B belongs to H, immediately A and B belongs to H intersection K. Where 1 says that A into B inverse belongs to H, 2 says that again A into B inverse belongs to K, therefore A into B inverse also belongs to H intersection K. If AB inverse belongs to H, H is a subgroup. If AB inverse belongs to K, K is a subgroup. then suddenly what do you mean by if AB inverse belongs to H intersection K, H intersection K is a subgroup of J. Therefore, it is the proof that intersection of two subgroups is again a subgroup. Now, for the union, to consider the two examples. Is the union of two subgroups is a subgroup? It is not a subgroup. For that, the example, union of two subgroups need not be a subgroup. For that, consider the G. G is the set of the integers. The set of integers are 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 plus or minus 3 and so on. Is a group under addition. Where group under addition, according to the addition, the identity element is 0. If the plus 1, its inverse is a minus 1. If you plus 2, its inverse is a minus 2, and so on like that. Immediately the closure and associative also satisfies. No doubt that the G, the set of integers, is a group under addition. Now, among the G, to consider the two subsets H and K. What does H? H is the two integers, 0 plus or minus 2 plus or minus 4 plus or minus 6 and so on. And K, three tables or three integers, 0 plus or minus 3 and plus or minus 6 and so on. Both H and K again the group, hence H and K be the subgroups of G. Now our question is the H union K is a subgroup? For that, 2 belongs to H and 3 belongs to K. What happens? 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3 is a 5. 5 neither belongs to H nor belongs to K. Therefore, this 5, the resultant of 2 plus 3, 5, it does not belongs to H union K. Immediately the closure law does not satisfy in the group of H union K. That H union K not a group. Therefore, H union K is not a subgroup of G. So it is the proof that intersection of two subgroups is again a subgroup and union of two subgroups need not be a subgroup.